Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Prashant and this is the fourth video of our JDBC series, that is JDBC steps. Till now, we have already seen the installation part and all the things required before starting database communication, right? Now, before we jump into the coding, it is very important to understand the steps involved in the JDBC because JDBC is not just about the writing code. Nowadays, writing code is not a major problem. Now we can generate our codes from various AI agents or tools, right? So it is about understanding how Java communicates with the database. So in this video, we will clearly understand all the steps that we are going to perform so that our Java application can successfully communicate with the database, right? So we have seen that our Java application doesn't talk directly to the database, right? Here, JDBC acts as a bridge and the JDBC driver works as a translator between the Java application and the database. Now, this complete communication happens in 7 important steps. In some of the references, there was 5, 6 or 7. So, for the safer side, we have taken the 7 important steps. So, let's understand these steps one by one in a proper sequence so that we can able to perform the JDBC operations, right? Now, the first step is importing the JDBC packages. Here, the JDBC packages are present in java.sql or javax.sql. These are called the JDBC API. These packages contains all the required classes and interfaces that helps Java to communicate with the database. Without importing these packages, Java will not know how to create a connection, how to execute SQL queries, and how to handle the result. So to use the JDBC features, we have to import the packages. Now note that this step doesn't connect to the database. It only makes the JDBC feature available to our program. And it is mandatory because JDBC classes are not part of the default Java language, right? Now we have imported our packages inside the Java application, right? Then the second step is loading and registering the JDBC driver. We have already seen the working of these drivers in the previous videos, right? So a JDBC driver is nothing but a software component that knows how to communicate with a specific database. In the JDBC driver, all the implementations of the JDBC API present. Now JDBC driver are the database specific. It means all the database vendors have their own JDBC driver. Now, when the driver is loaded, it automatically registers itself with something called the driver manager. So, the responsibility of the driver manager is to keep track of all available drivers and choose the correct one when a connection is requested. Because in our application, we can have the multiple JDBC driver of different database vendors. So, it's the role of the driver manager who will choose the specific driver according to the URL that we are going to pass when we are going to create any connection. So if the driver is not loaded, Java will not be able to find the database and the connection will fail. So till now we have loaded and registered the driver. Now the third step is establishing the connection with the database. Here we have to provide the database URL, username and password. If all the details are correct, a connection object will be created, and this connection represents a live link between the Java and the database. Here, we can assume a path or a bridge between our Java application and database so that we can fire the SQL queries to the database and take the respective response. So, without a connection, we cannot send queries or retrieve the data. So, in this step, we have created our connection, right? Now, once the connection is established, the next step is creating a statement. Now, let's suppose we have a SQL query. So, we cannot directly send the query from the Java to the database. We have to wrap this SQL query inside something called statement. Here, the statement is used to send the SQL query from the Java to the database. We have to wrap the SQL query in the statement. We can say that a statement is nothing but a messenger that carries the SQL commands. Now in JDBC there are different type of statements exist and we will cover all the type of statements in our upcoming videos. And all the type of statements have their own use cases, but the application of the statements are the same, which carry the SQL query. Now we have prepared our SQL query using the statement. Now comes the step where the actual query is executed. In this step, Java sends the SQL query to the database. Database processed it and database sends back the result to the Java application, and Java application stores that result. Now note that Java never executes the SQL query itself. The database does the whole execution and sends the result back to the Java application, right? And the execution may succeed or fail depending on the syntax constraints or the database state. So now we have the result, right? Now the next step is processing the result returned by the database. Now there are various type of results that database given. So result can be integer, array of integer, or result set. Even if you don't aware about these topics, there is nothing to be worry about it, because we will going to cover all these things in a detailed manner. We will implement and perform all the operations in the different scenario of each execution type, right? Whether it's integer, it's array of integer, or it's a result set. So not need to worry about it. Now when we process our data, then the final step is closing all the database resources, or at least the connection, because database connections are limited and expensive as well. So it's very important to release them. We should always close the result set, statement, and connection. This prevents the memory leakage and improves our application performance. Therefore, it is always recommended to close all the things. So the complete JDBC flow is like importing the package, loading and registering the driver, establishing the connection, creating the statement, executing the statement, processing the result, and closing the connection. Now the interesting thing is the same flow is followed internally in various advanced tools like Spring JDBC, Hibernate, and JP as well. So before writing a single line of JDBC code, if this flow is clear in your mind, then JDBC will never be confusing. So that's all for this video. In the next video, we will start implementing these steps using the real code. So make sure to subscribe the channel and stay tuned. Meet you in the next video. Till then, keep learning and happy coding. Thank you.